Hi, I'm Tim.
And I'm Eric.
And we work for the Champions Briefs Institute.
Now, CBI has camps for all four types of debate: policy, Lincoln Douglas, congressional, and public forum, in both Minnesota and Florida. Tim and I specifically, though, work for the public forum camp in the Florida division.
However, regardless of which camp you choose to go to, CBI will teach you how to hone the skills of oral argumentation. In fact, only at CBI can you master public speaking so thoroughly that you can engage in a substantive debate, even while juggling.
To prove it, we'd like to briefly revisit the December 2012 topic for public forum debate. We affirm the resolution resolved. The United States government should prioritize tax increases over spending cuts. For the sake of clarity, we offer the following observation. Ross Hill of the University of Virginia State writes, quote, "Governments are subject to treat human beings with certain intrinsic rights, and included among these rights is the right to just treatment. This leads Leif Warren to conclude that policies from the government must be specifically to the advantage of those who are advantaged least. Thus, governments ought to prioritize a system of raising revenue that is most just. We contend that increasing taxes better reduces economic inequality. Frank Stillwell of the University of Sydney finds there are numerous policy instruments available to government, such as increasing taxes on the wealthy, which can reduce income inequality. The benefit of this equality is twofold. The first is deficit reduction. Michael Feldbaum of the International Monetary Fund finds, quote, "Increased gaps in income have led to increased debt. Reducing inequality through taxation is thus the only way of substantially minimizing this debt by attacking the problem at the core." But the second benefit is economic growth. According to the International Monetary Fund, countries with high inequality are likely to have shorter spells of growth than countries with less inequality. Whereas if we simply cut spending, the poor get whacked, the middle class get punched, and the rich just get richer. Because Tim and I don't want the kind of world we affirm.
Does any government policy that doesn't necessarily benefit the poor unjust?
Well, not necessarily, but when we're talking about fiscal policy specifically, we have to not just benefit the rich because the poor need our help the most.
That makes sense. So what inherent about income inequality leads to this economic recession that you talk about in your case?
Well, that's what we tell you from the IMF. When we have an unequal economy, money gets backlogged among the richest sectors. But if we redistribute that, the poor have more buying power and everyone can benefit.